Well, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody has their coffee, just like I do today. Sometimes it seems like we need more of those than other days, doesn't it? Today we've got Jim Lawson with us from Terradatum. He's going to be telling us some interesting things about what he's seeing across the country market-wise. But just for those that haven't been on a coffee chat before, we've started these, it seems like 10 years ago. It was right when COVID started. And the whole idea of these is to help all of our readers, learn quick tips from really interesting technology companies about ways to kind of, number one, ride this whole thing out, but importantly, take this time to prepare yourself for what inevitably is going to be a much more virtual world, I think, than what we've seen prior to this. So welcome to everybody. Hey, if you've been on these before, I'm just curious, just tell me in the question box if you've been here before. I'm just kind of interested to see how many of you are coming back, because we're hoping that many of you do, and these are valuable for you. So today we're going to be talking about 5 key metrics that your customers need to know during a challenging market like this. Hi, Katie. Thanks for letting us know. Hey, Tracy, first time. Hey, Tim, saw you yesterday. Okay, so before we get started, I want to just do a little bit of, a little housekeeping here. If you haven't been on one of these before, just go to the right-hand side where you see that thing that says go to webinar control panel. There's a little box that says questions. If you just click on that box and open it up, then you can submit a question for us. There's a couple of people that have been here before. Hey, Scott. Hey, John. Hey, Jacqueline. Thanks so much for coming with us. Hopefully those are helpful for you. So let me just introduce Jim, because he's been in our business for a million years. Hate to say that, Jim, but you and I we are not young. He's the VP of Sales and Marketing and Client Services for Terradatum, a really interesting company that has worked with many markets and many MLS organizations around the country for many years, helping all of us to better understand what's happening in the market. So they're the ones that help you be able to educate your client about, is the market up? Is it down? What's happening with pricing? They've great ways to help you learn how to actually price a home appropriately and convince an owner who may think it should be more than what you think it should be. He's got some great data to do that too. So welcome, Jim. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so before we jump into the presentation, we were talking just before the call started, and you've got some really interesting perspectives on what's going on in the market right now. Because if you listen to the press, of course they like to think everything is horrible and negative, right? It's just what they do to sell newspapers. But when I've been talking to agents and brokers around the country, I'm hearing that things are slowing, but they're not stopped by any means. In fact, just like you would expect normally in this type of time of year, that they're actually seeing in some markets activity pick up. What are you seeing? Maybe give us some perspective on the data you've got across the country, and what are you seeing right now?
Well, yeah, what we've done is because we have roughly access to 94% of all real estate transactions on MLS across the country with the partners that we aggregate from, we've actually started to create some national reports. So we're actually tracking close to 1,800 cities right now across the US, and we're watching the movement of status. So how many, what does active inventory look like this last week versus the week prior? So as we'll talk a little bit more, when we get into this, traditionally analytics companies, we look at like quarterly report or a monthly report. Now we got to look down at it like a weekly report, because it's changing.
Seems like an hourly report to me right now. Everything's so crazy. It changes every 15 minutes, but
anyway. It is crazy. Absolutely. And, some interesting numbers that we're seeing already is that, like you said, this time of year, we typically see, the market starting to climb up activity wise. We looked at last week versus the week prior, and new listings coming on the market, it's slowing down. It's down 20% week over week. Okay, there's roughly, we tracked about a little over 44,000 new listings that were hitting the market. Okay,
44,000. Okay, so the market's not dead. There's 44,000 new houses being sold. Okay, that's good.
Entering the market, not sold yet. And but here's the part that's kind of like you kind of look at those numbers. Same time period last year, same week, right?
Okay. Yep.
Down almost 50%. We had 84. 1,000 new listings last year hitting the market at the same time period.
Okay,
So
so I mean, obviously 50% off is not amazing. We don't love that. But
no,
again, if you read the newspaper, you would think it was going to be 95 would be that number, right?
right.
So so there is ways to continue to do business now, and I think not all states, but many states are considered realtors are considered essential, right? That's what I've seen pretty much. It'd
That's
be
seen pretty
interesting
much.
if anyone on the call where if you're in a market where you are not considered essential, I would love to know that. But I think most are essential, right? So now the question is, what do we do if for at least for those 50%, and maybe we can get it up to 60 or 70%, right? Maybe who knows? But
Right.
that's what we're going to talk about today is like, what are the kinds of things that that we can do to help people understand that it is still okay to sell, right?
We
And
all know, yeah, we all know that the market's slowed down a lot,
right,
and everyone's feeling it, and it's a different time. But I think what we need to start doing now is, like the first couple of weeks of this, I mean, even our own company, like we're trying to just shuffle and get ourselves situated in what's going to be happening with customers and everything else.
right,
Now it's a time of, okay, let's look at opportunities. Let's jump into this. It is what it is, and
right.
let's monitor this as we come out of it. Really, that's what we're really looking for. Is we're here. Let's see how fast we can get back on track.
So Sherry just told me that Michigan is not considered essential. I'm sorry for you, Sherry, because it's a lot harder when you're not considered essential. You still can do business, but you got to be a lot more careful. So I hope that, I know Detroit has been kind of a hot spot for this. I hope that you guys come out of that soon. But there was a week in California where I'm located where they were not considered essential. And the California Association basically advised every agent to take every listing and put it on hold or withdrawn. People freaked out. I'm sure you guys did it in Michigan too. So that's not fun. Okay, well, let's just jump in. So what I hear people telling me, and this has been backed up by a survey that we just did too, that the number one thing that agents are doing right now, regardless if you're essential or not, is reaching out to their clients, right? And to prospects, but potentially clients. Some people are reaching out to their sphere or neighborhoods that they specialize in. Most of them say they're starting the call with nothing about business, more just about simply how are you doing? Is that
Sure.
what you're hearing too, Jim?
Yes. Yeah. It's much more personal. How's it
Right.
going? That. Yes.
But there are some people, and that's what we're going to talk about today. There are some people that you might get to the conversation about what is happening in the marketplace, right? Because again, they're watching the same news we're watching. So we're going to show people if people ask that question, right? It's not the kind of thing you're going to jam down their throat, but if they are asking, and if they're worried, there's so many articles about none of us are sleeping at night. We all wake up at 3 a.m. worrying about something different, right? So if they're home and the value of their home is something they're worried about, we do have something we can show them, correct?
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, when I was licensed in practicing real estate, the number one question that was always asked by me by customers that found out I was an agent is, how's the market, right? It always starts with how's the market. So even if you've got a relationship with somebody, I would probably suspect, a lot of people on this call are probably getting from their customer, hey, how is the market doing right now, right? I mean, that might be one of the questions, right? So here's the good news. Key stats, there's no magic pills on metrics. It's the same metrics, right? We track number of sales, number of contracts, number of new listings coming on the market, number of, failed to sell, expireds, right? Things that are going off market, month supply. It's all the general same kind of stuff.
Right.
The key difference here is that defining your markets, I think, more acutely is going to be important, and also the frequency at which you're looking at the data versus like you would in the past, a monthly or quarterly report.
So what is the frequency now? Is it literally monthly? Is it daily or weekly? What is the new on that?
Well, like I said, on our national reports, we're tracking on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And that we're going to see how that goes, right? I mean, because it's kind of hard. I mean, day by day, yeah, but that could be a little bit too much. I mean, we got to have enough time to aggregate the report.
Right.
So weekly and last 30 days is really interesting too. We've done some initial. We've got with our new product, we'll be introducing last 30 days versus previous 30 days to give you a real sense of what's going on. Because a lot of
Okay.
these programs, when you get into them, like right now in April, if you were to go into most programs and say, hey, give me a report, a monthly report, it's going to give you March on back. Well,
Right.
we've got 2 weeks right now, 2-3 weeks of April. What's going on right now? Right. So that's why
Well,
we
and now
think.
we're used to watching, daily displays of COVID data, right? So we've been trained now to look at daily activity on things. Not that home sales is the same as COVID, thank God, but we're all in that. What's happened today? What happened today? What happened today? You wake up every morning to see how many more, people have been diagnosed in your county, right, or in your state or across the nation. So
Yeah.
we're in much more of a real-time environment now than we normally have been.
Absolutely.
So
So if you go to the next slide and you start to think about how you would put together a market, right? You can look at, like we just talked about nationally, right? U.S.,
Right.
state, city, zip code, all that down. And if you go to the next slide, as an example, you have the Atlanta area, right? Atlanta's MLS, for instance, FMLS is one of the MLSs, or Georgia MLS. There's 2 of them there. Huge area, huge area. And agents, as we all know, it's more local. Yeah, I can do business anywhere in my MLS. I can do business anywhere in my state, but that's not really what's best for my customers. So when you look at what your area is,
Should we go to the next slide, to this one?
yeah, if you look at your area. So typically we'd look at like zip code, county, or school district, right? Something like that. A boundary that an MLS would set as a boundary. That may not work for your market, right? Now, you may want to go very small because these boundaries cross over like major freeways or barriers like a river, and it can change, the markets, one side to the other. So what we allow you to do, or what we think you should be doing is really drawing, and saving your market area. So if you go to the next slide, for instance, we introduced this platform last year. And again, goes back to how's the market, right? And this is AirGo. So what we allow you to do is actually, as an agent, you can go in here and draw on the map, save this as a market. You have multiple markets if you want. And when we provide you all the analytics that are going on right there, the things that I just talked about, right? What's going on with sales under contract. You can look at different property types. So we've always matched property types that are the same in your MLS.
Okay, got it.
So that's good for an agent. You can look at different time periods. Like, as I said, we're working on right now, should be out very soon, last 30 days, because that's so important right now, is to see the various, how close that is.
So
But yeah.
tell us what are we looking at on the left and on the right in this slide?
So on the left, what we've done is we've drawn on the map to say, okay, this is my market, right? Kind of big. I wanted to get a big picture here. And then for inside that diagram, that polygon, up at the top, you'll see the various indicators. So in that map, there's 967 sales that occurred. We're looking at it a monthly right now, so it occurred last month. And there was $403 million of volume in that area. Adding up all the sales. And then you can look at each of those under contract, or new listings, or expireds. And then to the right, what we do is we take each of those statuses and we actually do a price distribution to show you how is price distributed in that area that you just drew. So you can get very, very focused on your area. Think about if you're doing a CMA, for instance, you've picked your comps, you got your CMA, now you want to do some market stats around it. You can actually draw on this right where the subdivision is, right? And then sometimes in some place like Houston, we have subdivisions, right? We got thousands of them. I think we got 40,000 subdivisions, right? So instead of just picking all these subdivisions to create the one big one, just draw on the map. And we'll instantly give you all the stats there. So we'll give you the price distribution there. And right there on the right, what you're seeing is a sold price distribution, because if you look at the top, we have that toggle turned on. So if you turn the other toggles on, you'll start to see an overlay of the other statuses and price distribution. Yeah, kind of hard to see on the screen.
Are you doing anything to track holds right now or withdrawn, since that's a thing that some people are being advised to do, and we may see more of that than average at the moment?
Say that one more time.
Are you doing anything to monitor holds and or withdrawn, since those are two statuses that are, being used more than they normally would, given what's going on right now?
We're doing that on our national program. That's another item that, this launched last year. We've got the new version launching Tuesday,
Okay.
would be available. And so we're already looking at, we need to add, the off-hold statuses. What we had to wait and see was a lot of the MLSs are calling it different things.
Right.
And so we're just trying to figure out, okay, how are they doing this? And then we can look at adding it into the program as well.
Gotcha.
And then just to finish up real quick, it's kind of hard to see, but we've got other indicators, secondary indicators, median sales price, average list price, all that stuff is there just by clicking the button. We give you trends to show you, the
Gotcha.
time period, how things are progressing. And then we show you what we call the KMI, those top indicators, how they compare in the various time periods. But like I said, you can save this and then refer back to it, so you don't have to draw this thing again and again. You can have it saved, and we'll tell you if it's a buyer or seller's market at the time too.
And would you then, if I wanted to, so let's go back to what's happening right now. So an agent calls me and says, "How are you doing?" And we go through all of that, and then I say, "Well, I don't know. I don't see any houses for sale around me right now, or what's happening in the market. Can I export this and send it to somebody easily if they want to just get a quick snapshot of what's happening?"
Yeah, we've got a couple of reports already built in. One is a one-page report, kind of meant to be a summary of that area, versus a multi-page report that gets more detail. So yes, there's a couple of reports available for sure.
Denise just made a comment, which I think is interesting, and I've heard that in other markets too, Denise, that our MLS is recommending leaving your listings as easy for me to say, leaving on as active to generate virtual tour marketing. So you don't take it off the market, you let it stay there. I think that putting it on hold was kind of an earlier, more gut reaction to, we don't want to, expose anybody. But I think you're right. Even if people they can't go for an open house right now, you still want to continue to generate interest on the property. So I think you're right about that, Denise. I'm seeing that too.
Absolutely. I've been seeing the same thing. A lot of people are talking about video technology and using video and tours and things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Next slide.
Yeah. So, if you're looking at, how does COVID play into all this, right? So as as everybody should know, hopefully, right, there's lots of sites out there, lots of websites you can go get information about the latest COVID numbers. What we've done and what will be available on Tuesday is that an agent can come in, run their market stats, and then hit the button, the little red button on the far left side there, kind of hard to see again, but it's the
COVID-19 severity. Yeah.
COVID overlay. And we're actually overlaying the COVID county data from Johns Hopkins across all markets. So
that's awesome.
So when you're looking at your market, right, you can start to not only inform customers of what's going on here, right, but also as you start to think about where I'm going to strategize and spend my time, you'll notice on the screen here, the yellow version, thank goodness, is lighter, right? There's not as many cases,
right,
versus the orange versus red. The way I drew my market, you can see that part of my market is in yellow and part of it's in orange. So, I might want to focus in on draw another market right over in that yellow area and start really kind of focusing on that and reaching out to people, because that might be an indicator that people would be more acceptable to getting back into the market, right?
That's that's a really interesting thought. So I think, is that Marietta, I think on the left where it's more yellow? I think that's what it looks like from.
Yeah.
So
and what's
concentrate
cool
there. Yeah.
When you click on each county up at the top right, you'll get the latest numbers. And so again, we update this every day, just like our normal data on the MLS, we update every day. And you'll have the latest. We're working on. We don't have a report yet that you can print out, because I want to create a report with both stats. Right, here's some COVID information. Here's some market stats. If you want to use that, if you don't want that, then you can use the reports that are currently there.
Well, you could also add in, if you wanted to, a lot of these sites, like you said, Johns Hopkins, New York Times. I'm sure everybody's local paper. is publishing the sort of the trends, right? The incident trends, like you get, and I just saw one this morning in ours where they show how the incidents went, discovery of cases is up and it's way down now. While the total number is up because we're adding them every day, the actual incidence is looks like it's really tailing off, right? So having a report like this plus something like that is a really good way to tell the story that it looks like our county's coming out of it, or our region's coming out of it, and not that we want to get too excited about that, but at least help people understand that maybe we're gonna live through this and it's gonna come back in the next several weeks. So
Right, that's right. And I've always been an advocate of, my job as a realtor is to provide the market to my customer. What's going on, good or bad, and be that professional soundboard for people, because life keeps going, right? And people have various situations in their life that they have to sell or they have to move or whatever, and doesn't matter if there's COVID.
Still have to, exactly.
So
Jerry's
we
asking. Jerry Allen's asking a question. Where can we get that site info? I think, Jerry, you're referring to the COVID information, if you want to clarify. I think you said you're using the Johns Hopkins data. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can go out and just, Google it. There's lots of sites that are out there that are both local, right? Your local governments are putting up sites, like Houston's got one that I look at for local. John Hopkins has been referenced on the federal government side a lot. So I think that's why we went to that. And they had an API that was free to use. And that's what we're done here is we brought in the API data from them to overlay on top of our product, so that when you're looking at the market, like you see here, you can see how COVID is also there as well.
Yeah, there's another one too, the New York Times does, which is really interesting. They do it nationwide, statewide, and by county. And you can actually click to your county and it'll tell you the stats, but it will also tell you the incidents relative to the per 100,000 people. So you can see if you guys are a hotspot or not. And Jerry, I think, is asking too about this specific thing that we're showing right now. We're going to show you the contact information for that in a minute, Jerry. So, and there's a free trial that you guys can check this out if you want to use it yourself. So hold on that one, but we'll give you the specifics on that in a minute. Okay. Okay. And next slide, or is there anything else we want to talk about here?
Yeah. We can go on to the next slide. So, when you think about, okay, I've got this information now, right? Hopefully at your fingertips, how to get the word out. Again, it's not a magic pill here, right? Whether it's an email or a call or a conversation, don't feel like that you have to print a report or share a report that's this big, massive thing. You could look at one item and say, hey, on social media, here's some COVID stats of what's going on in the county, but also, just so you know, there's listings out here. Here's a count of listings, and here's how it's changed, right? And just focus in on maybe one status, right? And just it'd be bits of information. The key here is, I think the opportunity is that because the timeframes are so crunched right now, and everybody's so looking at day to day, week to week, right?
Yep.
We have an opportunity to communicate more, and so sometimes less is more. Right. So if I came out on Mondays and said, hey, here's what's going on in your, these areas for inventory or for new listings or for sales, right? Don't make it this big report, make it smaller and condensed, and then you'll stay in top of mind, with those people.
Gotcha. Okay. Next slide.
Yeah, go ahead to the next slide. And again, just kind of restating, the ability to look back in shorter time periods, I think right now is definitely key. So like I said, we've already got in a prototype here, the looking back last 30 days, because I think the last 30 days versus previous 30 days is very telling as to how the market's doing. Now, right now, we're still kind of going down, right? Eventually, it's going to start going back up. And so the message will be different, right? It'll be more of, hey, it's coming back. Hey, we're growing, right? So kind of like the stock market, right? It was crashed. Right. Now they're talking about in increments here and there. It's not back to where it was, but it's doing better, day by day. So definitely focusing in on very specific these statuses and in shorter time periods. The real opportunity here is, like I said, well, go ahead, go to the next slide. I think.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make a point too, and I know this is sample data, but it sounds like it's pretty close to reality. Again, these numbers are not terrific. Nobody wants a market that's down by 44%, right? But again, I think the perception is it's much worse than that, right? So even people know what the business is going to be, it's going to be lower, but I think you can dispel some. It's not comforting to see it, but it's certainly not as bad as I believe probably people think it is right now. I think people think realtors have just gone home, closed up their tent, and they're just not doing anything, and that's not true.
No.
Anyway, so go ahead.
So if you go back and look at, I think gentleman asked about, AirGo here. We are making this free nationwide to any agent that's in any of our MLSs to go sign up for an account and put in your MLS ID and create the account. And as long as you remember that MLS, you get access to that market. If you're a member of multiple MLSs, you can set up multiple MLSs and get at this information and really start to use the tool. So we're extending that out until July 31st, maybe even a little bit longer. We're monitoring the market, see how it's going, right? If we're coming back out of this, in July and all that, and people are starting to really do business again, then there'll be some sort of upgrade. But yeah, use it now.
That's great,
check it out.
Yeah, I mean I think many of the people that come to our coffee chats are looking for new ideas, but they're also looking for ways to ride out the storm. If their business is down 40% or more, they don't have the money to do this kind of thing. But it's a great time to learn about this stuff, because take the COVID thing away for a minute, right? But all the rest of this is something that's always valuable to customers, right? So it's a great way to learn about it now, get comfortable with it, play with it, see how your customers respond to it, see how your prospects respond to it. And then, once you're comfortable, then when the market opens up again, you're already good at it. That's
the metrics are the same, right? That, like I said, there's no magic metrics here. I mean, the metrics are the same. It's a time period and the frequency at which you're communicating, I think, is the opportunity, because those agents that embrace that and do that, I think Stan would be looked at as more of an expert, right? You might say, versus an agent that's not doing it, right? There's a number of agents that aren't, like you said, some aren't doing much of anything. A lot of agents are. So definitely agree.
Here's we got a little note for you, Jim. This is from Albert Clark. If any of you are subscribers to Home Actions, we're probably going to have those guys on the show in the next couple of weeks. But they said, if any of you if you have Home Actions, which is a great newsletter format, you can take this data and you can put it into that format. And so you can take this free data, put it somewhere else in a tool that you're already using. So thanks, Albert, for the cross promotion for that. Maja is asking for the cost. You can see here it's free until July 31st. So that's the number is, it's nothing. So that's even better. Do we want to go to the next slide?
Yeah, I think we're kind of wrapping it up. We're right at coming up on 30 minutes. So I wanted to stay on task. So, you mentioned a minute ago about, subscriptions and maybe not having the money, right now because our business is down. Okay.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of jump on the bandwagon a little bit. Is everybody talking about video, right? Video is very important, and right now, because that's the only way we can really promote virtual tours, video, that kind of stuff. We're launching a new site this week. Okay, it might be tomorrow or today even. listinghomerun.com, and there's no subscription. And what you get is you can get a listing video. So it's a video of your listing using the photos. It's full motion narrated. The whole thing talks about, it's think of it like a digital flyer, for instance, for your listing. Okay. But we also give you a market video off of that listing in that area, and we give you a community video, and we give you a little website page here with lead capture and a flyer download, and even a little newsletter to go out and help promote it. And there's no subscription. We don't. It's just a per listing. We've priced it out at $30. $30, you get the whole package for the life of your listing. So we're really excited about that. We did some test marketing earlier before all the shows shut down, and seemed like agents were really excited about the idea of, because everyone's asking for a subscription, right? Hey, I want your monthly money, right? We're saying, hey, if you like this, try it out. If you like it again, do it again. So
that's awesome. And do you help agents share that too if they want to put it on social media and things like that? Is that part of it? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they can share all the videos themselves on social media, or they can share the whole site on the on social media, send it out through your newsletters, all that stuff. What we're finding is that when you send the video, the listing video especially, to the sellers are pushing it out to their friends and family, going, "Look what my realtor just created for me," right?
Oh, nice.
So,
You're right.
so it's extra branding. It's extra, and people see that, right? They go, wow, this guy just created this really cool stuff, for him. I'm thinking of selling my house when this gets back, to normal. I want to, and this guy's out there communicating about the market, right? All those things come together, and hopefully that makes you stand out among other people.
Well, and we talked earlier about cutting back on budgets, and I think it's human nature in times like this, especially when we first got into shelter in place. I think we all were like, oh my God, there's going to be no business, and we just have to stop doing everything and let's just hunker down and just ride it out, right? And it's been interesting. I've been speaking, through coffee chats, and I'm also on another, which actually starts in just a few minutes. It's called The Huddle. Realtor.com does it every Thursday with Andrew Dorn and I. And we've been talking to a lot of top producing agents, team leaders, and brokerages. And I got to tell you that to a person, the people that are really leaning in, as they say, right, and not cutting back on things, but certainly taking things like this powerful listing marketing, listing home run, or AirGo, or a lot of, if you've been on other ones, you've seen we've shown a lot of great ways to try things out. This is a time to do it because you really can. I don't want to say grab market share. That sounds a little too competitive, but the truth is you can have a strong presence right now when other people are either afraid or unprepared or don't know what to do, and build your brand and build your awareness and build your reputation as someone that truly is a servant, right? Someone that really does love and care about their clients. So when you come out of this at the other end, you will have, made some deeper relationships, and you would have leveraged marketing more effectively. So you're going to be ahead of the game. That's the bottom line, right? So it's the time to learn these kinds of things and to try them out. And we have a question about listing home run. Can listing home run be used for a FSBO in hopes of being their listing agent if they list? Well, that's an interesting idea.
That is interesting. We have a another site called the Video Marketing Suite. Okay, so and if that person wants to reach out, I can get them more information. But in that platform, we bring in the listings automatically as well. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can create your own listing and upload your own photos.
Oh, okay.
And then create a package that way. But it, I'll get whatever information I can to that person if they want to reach out.
Yeah, so that's Howard Sanford. Howard, we're going to show contact information in just a minute. If you want to put your email in, I'll connect the two of you so you can learn more about that. That's an interesting thought. Okay, so actually, yeah. So
I just got a message too. I'm sorry, breaking news. One of our other people are watching. So apparently, yes, on Listing Home Run, you'll be able to create your own listing as well. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So do you want to share your email with the group in case anybody has specific questions for you, Jim? We can put that in the box if you want.
Yeah, it's J Lawson, Lawson, at Terradatum.com.
Okay. I just put that in there.
If I can't answer your question, I will get you to the right person in our organization that can. And like I said, there's our website. The Listing Home Run and the AirGo will be available next Tuesday. So the link below, if we can post that link, you can just put in your name and email address, and then we'll send out a reminder, once it's fully up on the site. And then you can set up your free AirGo account, and like I said, go explore and take a look at Listing Home Run. Like I said, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Listing Home Run's launching either today or tomorrow. So again,
AirGo is not live yet, or is there a place to go to sign up for that as well?
Yeah, AirGo is Tuesday. AirGo is Tuesday.
Okay, so this link, I think it was Michael had asked about the link to sign up for AirGo. Just click on that link, just grab that if you can out of the chat box, and then you'll be able to be one of the first to take advantage of it. Thank you, Howard, for sharing your email. We'll pass that over to Jim. Okay, so I just wanted to give you some updates on all the fun things that are happening with us. So the coffee chats, as you know, or you may not know, but they come on every morning at 9 o'clock Pacific, noon Eastern, and we bring in a variety of different people with tools and tricks to help you do things. So tomorrow we've got Deanna Hall and Kim Henson. They're from the MLS down in Florida in Broward, Palm Beaches, and St. Lucie, and they're going to talk about what they're doing locally. But the real point of all of the MLS conversations is for you to think about how your MLS can help you, regardless if you're in their market or not. So they're going to show you some neat things that they're doing, and again, some things you can think about, talking to your MLS about locally. Then Monday, we've got the Director of Product Partner Development from DocuSign. As many of you might know, that's a very, very core partner to NAR, and they're going to talk about streamlining your virtual transaction using digital transaction management. Then we've got Teresa King-Kinney, who's God, I can't talk today. Kinney, who's the CEO from the Miami Realtors. And if any of you are in that market, you know that that MLS offers you all kinds of ways to help to be successful. So she's going to talk to us about how you can really generate business using your MLS. Again, think about if you don't want to spend a lot of money, most of you are probably still buying your MLS services. You can do a whole lot of marketing for really not a lot of money using your MLS. So definitely come to that one. That's going to be a good one. And then on Wednesday, we have Colleen Doyle from NAR. If you haven't checked this out yet, the Right Tools Right Now program, which actually was launched way back in 2008 and 9 when we had our last big downturn, they've pulled together all kinds of great training resources for you, free offers. RPR is part of that. So she's gonna give us an overview of all the good things you get as being part of a realtor. So all kinds of good ones. Keep us in the mind. If there's anybody on the call that wants us to register you automatically for all of them, just give me your email address in the box below in the chat box, and we'll get them registered so you don't have to worry about it. I also wanted to tell you about a couple of other things I'd love you to do to just so you can take full advantage of this. All of our coffee chats are being recorded and are posted on our YouTube channel, which is RE Technology Inc. So if you want to make sure that you see the recordings, even for the ones that you couldn't make it to, or if you want a recording of one you did see, go to our channel, subscribe, and then if you see that little bell, if anybody ever wondered what that is, if you click on that, what that will do is it will notify you every time that a new coffee chat or a new webinar has been posted, so you can get ongoing communication, so you can watch them whenever you want, even if you can't make it live. Okay. And also, we wanted to offer a free 3-month RE Technology subscription for anybody that doesn't already have one. And there's the coupon codes below. So if you're an agent, it's COVID-19A, brokers COVID-19B, and MLS COVID-19M. So just go to there's a little box below the login that says create account. Go to that, and then you'll be able to put one of these in, and you'll be able to get all full access to all of this for 3 months. So that's what we've got for you today. Let me see if there's anybody else that wants to. Got emails coming in. Awesome, bunch of them. Okay, good. So we'll sign all of you guys up so you can see these regularly. And with that, I think we'll turn off for today. I really appreciate all of you coming, and let me know if you can, if these are helpful for you. If you can just drop me a line at Marilyn, maybe put mine in there too, Marilyn@retechnology.com. And we can, and if there's topics of something you'd like to learn more about that we have not yet covered, please let me know, because we'll reach out. We know lots of technology companies. There's a lot of smart people out there right now that are really, really excited to help realtors in this real time of need. So if there's anything else you want to learn about, or a company you've heard about and you want to know, just let me know, and we'll do our best to get them on the show for you, okay? So with that, I'll turn off today. Thank you so much to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday. I hope everyone in your family is safe and healthy. If they are in mine, thank God. I'm very happy about that. And go from there. So have a great day. Hang in there. If you have a moment of panic, it's okay. We've all had them. It's okay to cry a little too once in a while if you need to. Don't get mad at yourself. We're all doing it. So love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Good to see y'all.